It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Kyle Benedict as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it is great to have you in studio today. Yavapai County Supervisor for District 2, Tom Thurman, back with us. Welcome back.
I like to be here.
I love having you here.
Well, I appreciate that.
You know, you're a very laid-back guy, easy to talk to, so that's a good thing. That's a very good thing, down-to-earth guy. You were elected chairman of the board this year. So I thought we'd start with that. And what does that mean, and what do you do for Yavapai County?
Well, this is the third time that I've been the chair. You sign a lot of papers. Anything that the government does, you know, is typically some sort of an agreement. And with that agreement, it could be an IGA, an intergovernmental agreement with some other governmental agency, or you're hiring somebody to fix a road or something. The chairman has the authority and is the authority to sign all those agreements and
this
contracts.
is for the county? For the county?
This is for the county.
Okay.
We also, as the chair, you help with the agenda for every one of your meetings. We have a meeting once in Prescott a month and once here in Cottonwood a month. And I have to approve that agenda. If there's something on the agenda that the other supervisors don't like, they can overrule me by law. But it takes 3 of them of the 5 to overrule something that's on the agenda. Otherwise, it's I'm just really running the meetings. You don't really have any more power than you did before. You're not the all-powerful Oz, but okay. You know, and some people think they are, and then they find out that it's not exactly what they thought it would be.
It's not really a glamorous position.
No, not really. You know, I think, you know, if you're really a good chair, you can tell it by how the meetings flow.
Okay.
If things are going well, that's a great thing. If things are not going well, if it's an item like a zoning change or something and the neighborhood's upset, you got to be able to calm people down and get to be where it's professional. This is, you know, not the yelling and screaming and things like that. We don't want to escort anybody out. I don't want to have a deputy there. Da-da-dee-da-da. And so if you're a halfway decent chair, you can move things around that makes it work.
Okay.
Yeah. So
keep a working crowd going on.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right.
Something productive.
Very good. And you do that for a year.
I did that
next
for a
year.
year.
We'll change out again.
You know, Coconino County, you know, we just went to 5 supervisors 4 years ago. So when we were at 3 supervisors in a 4-year term, somebody was the chair twice. In Coconino, they went to 5 years ago, so they think, to be fair, what they do is they chair for 9 months, and then 9 months the next person. That way, all 5 get to chair once out of a 4-year term.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So they do it a little bit different. We haven't been doing that.
No.
Yeah.
Do you think it might change?
It's something to talk about.
Yeah.
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 Well, you know, we are really happy to have Randy Garrison on board, and we'll see how Randy feels about that too.
We're going to have Randy in next week.
Excellent.
Yeah, that'll be the first time I sat down with Randy, so I'm looking forward to meeting Randy Garrison. All right, last year, 2016, it's gone. We're more than halfway through the first month of 2017. Yeah.
With all the media and the presidential race,
it was crazy last year.
Unbelievably crazy,
Yeah.
and I'm happy that part of it is over.
Well, in your chunk, you know what, before we do this, looking back at 2016, District 2, tell us real quick what district that is.
District 2 is very large.
It's huge.
It's a finger goes into Prescott Valley. Then we have Dewey Humboldt, Mayor, Cordes, Spring Valley, Black Canyon City, Crown King. I also have the bulk of the Verde Valley, pretty well everything, if you will, downriver from 89A. Other than the Verde villages. I pick up the rest. Cornville, I pick up Camp Verde, Rimrock, Beaver Creek, all the way down to Beasley Flats. And so it's and Fossil Springs, Fossil Creek, and even the road the Yavapai County goes right to the edge of Stoneman Lake, of all things.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. It does.
And so it's a huge district, and I'm the trails guy. And so I'm out in the hitherlands, if you will, the boonies, a lot, working with trails. And so 16 has been very interesting. The ADOT, you know, I'm a big jobs guy, and I think if if we're going to solve the country's problems and we're going to solve the state's problems, we need to put people to work.
Right.
Because they buy things and then they pay taxes, you know, and it's just part of life. But death and taxes, you know, and going to the doctor. But if we can get people to work and they pay those taxes, we can get a lot done. And 260 is a pivot for that in the Verde Valley, is getting it finished. We don't want a death alley like they called 69 for a while, where there were so many head-on.
Oh, God, yeah, I remember
and
those years,
so we need to bifurcate that highway and finish the bifurcation of that highway.
We're talking about from Thousand Trails to Camp Verde.
That's correct. And so they were short a little funding, you know. And I brought it up to Camp Verde end of the board close to 4 years ago now, trying to get this thing through. Some friends of mine helped me with this that have insider connections in the ADOT and the ADOT board. And so we got 260 and we got the board to approve that. Then it turned out they were short some funding. And I was lucky enough that I could move money around with my county engineer in my district to come up with about $660,000 that they were short to finish the job.
Wow, that's not small change either.
No, it wasn't. And so so we got a little, you know, we suffer equally. And so, but now we're just real close. In fact, this Friday, the ADOT board is meeting to finalize. They did something different called a construction manager at risk. Instead of going out and getting the engineers come up with a set of plans, they actually hire a contractor at the beginning to work with the engineers to try to do things to save money.
Oh, gotcha. And
so they did that, and so now that'll be finalized at that board meeting. And if you've noticed, we've already have relocation of utilities. They've been working on that now for a while on both sides of the highway, and they'll probably break ground. We're anticipating probably April or May.
Okay.
Actually, with the work.
And then it'll probably take, what, a year probably to complete, at least.
A year and a half.
Yeah,
somewhere
it's
in
a
there.
pretty big project.
Well, and we're planning for the future too. You know, we're wanting to put empty conduits in every roundabout that's going to be there. And a lot of people, they have to understand these roundabouts are very large. They're not like some of them over here on 89A on the backside of Cottonwood and Clarkdale. These are large ones. Now you still got to slow down for a roundabout, but there's 7 of them. But compared to a light, you will see that it will flow quicker. And the other on a roundabout, I know a lot of people don't like them, is you get fender benders. Don't get me wrong, you do get fender benders, but the fatality rate of having a roundabout versus a light, the T-bones at a light, people running lights, it just kills people left and right.
Right.
And so we're hoping with these larger roundabouts, you can go through them faster. It should work.
Okay. I've noticed the roundabouts, what I've seen over the years with them being introduced to the areas, that you get an overturned truck every now and again that was just going a little too fast for those curves.
Sometimes.
So so what else did take place? And you know what? Let's take our break. Let's take our break and we'll come back and see if there's anything else you want to talk about that happened in 2016,
Sure.
okay?
Happy.
This is Countywide District 2 Supervisor Tom Thurman in studio today. Stick around. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to Countywide. District 2, Yavapai County Supervisor and Chairman of the Board, Tom Thurman, in studio today. Anything else in 2016 we want to hit that was a big deal?
Well, you know, we worked with Coconino National Forests on the Fossil Creek Road.
That's ongoing.
The county does what once a year courtesy grading, if you will, and then the Forest Service does it once a year. It's a god-awful road, but it keeps people. It keeps people to slow down. It's very dangerous if you go real fast on that. You'll go off, and we've had some problems out there.
You can see it off the side of that road in some places where the cars.
And then now that they've gone to reservations, it's actually been working out well. And so we're happy that the system is working. It was getting recreated to death.
Yeah.
Got trail systems going. We got some Title II money for Rimrock, the Beaver Creek Trail Coalition.
Okay.
To what they're working on, what they call the Sunset group of trails, and it actually goes up behind Rimrock and Lake Montezuma area and goes to a viewpoint.
For the sunset, I imagine.
Yeah, and the viewpoint picks up the Montezuma well.
Oh, I'll be darned.
And so it looks across the creek and goes over. You can see the well from there. It's just a beautiful trail system.
Are these people, pedestrian, bike, and equestrian?
That's a single track, correct.
Okay.
Right. So you do any of those three, and so you know it's and we're trying to keep the ATV roads as open as we can. Sometimes the government has a tendency to want to close off things to jeepers and ATV folks, but we're working with them every chance we get, and it's been working. You know, it's not the greatest, but we just keep pushing, and so we're real happy with that. And so I ran unopposed this time. And so I was, I was happy.
Okay.
Yeah, that made my life easier, but I was very busy. So so it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So 2017, we already talked a little bit about that. The Highway 260 project. That's a huge deal from Thousand Trails out to Camp Verde to finally get that done.
Yes.
Anything else big you got coming up in 2017?
The Black Canyon Trail Coalition, another BCTC, has been working on the Sheep's Driveway Trail. It's a national recognized trail, and it starts on Carefree Highway out by the Game and Fish, and it goes right now all the way to we've got it up to 169.
Okay, gotcha.
And we'll be crossing under that. It was just, we have a guy that works for BLM on the side. He came down from Oregon, and he helped mark it now all the way down through Grief Hill, all the way down to the river.
Oh, wow.
And so we're working with possibly some property that the Nature Conservancy has to bring the trail through there. And that's looking really good. Eventually we'll have that connected. It'll come in through to Cornville. It'll come over, and there'll be a little side bar going over to Rimrock, and eventually get cross under 179 at the Dry Beaver Creek and into the Chavez Trail system. So it will, hopefully before I'm dead, you can go from Phoenix to Flagstaff coming through Yavapai County.
Wow, that is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
that is pretty incredible.
It is, and it's green tourist dollars. You know, you'll find out most of your equestrian and bicycle riders, and most of your hikers too, have money. Yeah. And so there's some economic gain to that too.
Sure, sure makes sense. Let's move on to something different. Legislative session's underway. I know the Board of Supervisors tries to stay very close with the legislative session.
Yes.
Where are we at with that right now?
Well, I was the liaison for the county for the last 4 years. Being that I'm the chair this year, Supervisor Jack Smith has taken that over. But I am going to shadow what he's doing too. I have so many connections down there, including my aunt being a senator, Judy Burgess. There's a lot going on down there. I don't know if you saw it or not. They're talking about trying to get some more fuel tax increases. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. This is a very conservative governor, and legislature, but even as conservative as Utah is, they did pass a fuel tax increase. We need to do something. The cost of doing roads today is insidious. It's terrible. And we've been stuck now for 25 years pretty well at the same rate that we have for fuel tax, and I don't see the federal government really coming in to help us a lot, hardly at all. And so let's do what we can locally. And so it's behind times, and you can see it with a project like on 260 that's running around $60+ million just to do a divided highway, those few miles. It's not cheap. It was over $50 million to do the Highway 69 and I-17 interchange at Cordes. They're looking at a Band-Aid to fix the Sunset Point to Black Canyon City problem that we get a lot of.
Signage, right?
Signage. Well, signage, adding an extra lane, a reverse lane when there's an accident on both lanes. This is just a Band-Aid. It's looking around 150 to 170 million to do the Band-Aid.
Wow.
To do the real fix from Table Mesa Road to Cordes Junction, they're looking at close to $1 billion.
Wow.
And well, there's no money in there for that. We can't hardly keep up with the maintenance that we have on our roads now. And so we got to do something on our own, because I don't see the feds.
Our roads are unique. I mean, we've got some way down deep south that get that super hot heat on them all day long. And then now we've got the winter going on up north with potholes all over the place. And
well, and pothole
wear and tear.
And between 4,000 and 6,000 feet too is a huge. It freezes and then it thaws and freezes and thaws, and that freeze thaw just destroys your underlayment underneath the asphalt.
How big would the fuel tax increase be?
They're looking at 10 cents a gallon.
Okay.
And I guess if you want to look at the price of fuel still being fairly low, it would be an opportune time. It really wouldn't hurt anybody in their pocket much.
But at least right now, gas there for a while was over $4 a gallon.
I know, and I can't believe it dropped to below $2 for a while.
I know.
And so we'll see how long that lasts. But
that was strange.
Yeah, unfortunately, government works on getting money. We have a tendency to like to spend money. I believe that this Board of Supervisors and the prior one were very conservative on spending money. We did not hardly raise anybody's property tax, hardly anything, for the last 10 years.
Been a long time.
Been a long time. I think we've done a great job at that. We've squeezed everything we can. The Sheriff's Department, as of a few months ago, was down 22 officers, deputies, and so we're trying to get those hired. And we're doing that slowly but surely. We did give them a raise. I know some people got upset with that, but we were pretty well at the low man of the totem pole, if you will, for the state on what we pay our law enforcement, and we were losing. We were bleeding deputies to municipalities and to other counties. We may never be able to match the kind of money that they pay law enforcement in Maricopa County. We don't have those deep pockets. However, we have a great work environment. So we gave a 10%, which is a whopping on the average deputy, $3,500, $4,000 a year. But now we're keeping those deputies because they got families and kids to raise too, and I understand.
It's expensive to train new deputies.
Very expensive to train.
Very expensive.
Right, and we make them work for us for a while, but you can't do it forever. So, it is what it is, and so.
Let's take another break already.
All right.
District 2 Supervisor Tom Thurman in studio today. This is Countywide. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and we'll be right back.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us. Go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to GetSchooled.com.
Welcome back to Countywide. We've got just a couple minutes left in the program. Anything else you'd like to definitely hit? We've got a proclamation coming up that you're going to be voting on Wednesday the 18th. Why don't we hit that for a couple minutes?
You bet, on human trafficking.
Human trafficking.
And people don't understand it's not just juvenile, too, and we have that a lot, but it's both adults and juvenile. It's a sad situation.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing, is right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're doing everything we can to try to... you're never going to alleviate it completely, but you know, we try to do what we can to stop or slow it down.
Mm-hmm.
Put it to you that way. Plus, we have had a slew of drugs getting caught, if you will.
Yeah.
Transporters on our highways lately, and the sheriff's department and DPS. And
that's picked up again. The methamphetamine, I've noticed, has actually started to pick up again in Yavapai County. There for a while, it was gone.
It was gone, and well, heroin came back too.
Yes.
You know, it's either heroin or it's crystal meth or it's cocaine or
right.
It's something. You know, I wish people could get high on life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
right,
you know,
nice
and I'll be honest. You know, in high school we did some stupid stuff, but you know, it really hurts you in the future. It hurts the families. It hurts, you know, our jail population goes up. You're feeding the cartel, which we do not want to do. You're feeding the bad element, and that's not part of life. It isn't reality.
It's not just you, your family. It trickles down to cities and towns and counties.
Expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive.
You know, to run our jail is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And so of course everybody's asking right now, the big one for 17 is, are you going to go back to doing another sales tax push for a new jail on the Prescott side, when 2/3 of the crime is on the Prescott side, and the transportation back and forth, and every study we've had show that's one of the hardest hits, is going back and forth, back and forth. Not only for the cost of fuel and transporting, but the amount of time that is lost. I don't know yet. We're going to be bringing that up. The Board of Supervisors, we have a retreat next week we're going to be doing, and we'll be talking about that to see if I don't want to do property taxes. You know, we could do property taxes. We've kept our property taxes so low that the state actually allows us to raise them for needs like this. But I don't want to go there right now. I think we're doing everything we can not to do that, not to have to build another jail. And so we'll just see how this goes.
There's work to be done.
There's always work to be done.
Supervisor Thurman, thank you so much for coming in.
You bet.
If you need something, just let us know. We should probably have you in again at least once this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And this is the grassroots level. They can do whatever they want in Congress. They can do whatever they want in the legislature, but just do it. Mm-hmm. Here at the grassroots level, we'll deal with whatever.
Take care of our own backyard. Okay.
Yes.
District 2 Supervisor Tom Thurman, I'm Paul David. This has been Countywide. Thanks for watching, listening, and we'll talk to you again next time.